The last train, it was late at night. The city was quiet. Ethan ran into the train station. He had missed the last bus home, so the train was his only choice. The station was empty, too empty. Only one old train waited on the tracks. Its windows were dark, and there was no sound. Ethan felt uneasy, but he got on the train anyway. The doors closed by themselves with a loud bang. The train started moving. Ethan froze. He hadn't seen a driver. At first the ride seemed normal. The lights were dim, the air cold. A few passengers sat around him, but something was wrong. A woman stared straight ahead without blinking. A man held a suitcase very tight. Two children sat together, not moving or speaking. Ethan tried to ask where the train was going, but no one answered. He looked out the window. The city was gone. There were no lights, no streets, just endless black fog. He checked his phone. No signal, no time. The screen only showed 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock. Then the lights flickered. When the lights came back, all the passengers were looking at him. Their eyes were silver and glowing. They all whispered together, "You should not be here." Ethan jumped up. The doors were locked. The train moved faster. The woman's face started to stretch. The man opened his suitcase. Inside was a black cube that glowed like a heartbeat. The children laughed, but their voices sounded broken like machines. Ethan grabbed the cube. The passengers screamed. The cube burned his hand and glowed brighter and brighter. Then everything stopped. Ethan opened his eyes. He was sitting on a bench in the train station. Morning sunlight filled the room. People walked around. Everything looked normal. He sighed in relief. Maybe it was just a nightmare. Then he saw the cube, still in his hand, still glowing. He looked at the station clock. It said 12 o'clock. It wasn't moving. He ran outside. The whole city was frozen. Cars stopped mid-road. Birds hung in the sky. People didn't move. Then he heard a loud train horn. He turned. The same old train was waiting, doors open. The cube whispered in a deep voice, "The ride never ends." The ground cracked open under Ethan's feet. Black fog rose, pulling him back toward the train. He screamed, but the fog swallowed him. The doors shut. The train started moving again. This time the train was empty. Then shadows began to appear in the seats, tall, thin shapes with silver eyes. They whispered, "Give us your light." The cube in Ethan's hand opened slightly. Inside, a small golden flame was glowing. Ethan realized it was his soul. The shadows reached for it, hissing. The cube grew heavy and hot. Ethan suddenly remembered. The cube had stopped them before. It wasn't just a trap. It was power. He pressed the cube against the train wall. The metal began to melt, showing a small crack of sunlight. The deep voice roared, "You cannot leave!" Ethan shouted, "I was never yours." He smashed the cube into the wall. The crack grew bigger until it became a doorway of golden light. The train shook and screamed as shadows tried to stop him. Ethan jumped through the light. He hit the ground hard. He was back at the station. Morning light. People moving. The world alive again. The cube was gone. Ethan smiled, feeling free at last. He had escaped. But then he saw his reflection in the glass. His eyes shone faintly silver. A speaker above him crackled. "Next stop, memory terminal." All passengers, "Please board." Ethan turned. The same old train had arrived again. No one else seemed to see it. Ethan looked down at his reflection one more time, and his reflection blinked, even though he didn't.
They told tourists not to go near the cenote after dark. The guide said the spirits of the ancient Mayans still whispered from below, calling for those who listened too long. But Liam didn't believe in legends. He was a travel vlogger, and he wanted a viral video. So one night, long after the tours had ended, he snuck into the ancient city of Chichen Itza. The moon was high, shining on the stone temples and broken pillars. The jungle around him buzzed with insects, and the air was thick and hot. He walked toward the sacred well, the Cenote Sagrado, a deep, round pit filled with black water. The Mayans had once thrown people and treasures into it, believing it was a doorway to the underworld. Liam set up his camera. "Okay guys," he whispered, smiling, "it's midnight at the sacred cenote. Locals say if you listen closely, you can hear the dead whispering from the water." He laughed. "Let's find out if they're right." He pointed his flashlight into the dark pit. The water below didn't move. No ripples. No sound. He leaned closer. And then, a faint voice echoed up. "Help me." Liam froze. It sounded like a woman. He turned off the flashlight and listened. Silence. Then, again, "Help me." He backed away, shaking. "Probably just the wind," he muttered. But the voice came again, louder this time. "Don't leave me here." Liam looked around. No one was there. Just the jungle and the cold, black water. His camera was still recording. He picked it up and whispered, "Okay, this isn't funny. If someone's down there, say something." A pause. Then, softly, "I see you." Something splashed in the cenote, like a hand hitting the surface. Liam's heart pounded. He pointed his flashlight again. The beam caught a shape, a pale face, just under the water, eyes open, staring straight at him. He gasped and stumbled backward. When he looked again, the face was gone. He decided to leave, but when he turned around, the jungle path had vanished. Only trees, thick, black vines, and whispering, all around him now. "Stay with us. Come closer. Join us." His flashlight flickered and died. He ran, but the ground beneath him shifted, like the earth itself was breathing. The air smelled of wet stone and blood. Then he saw it. A stone stairway leading down into the water. He hadn't noticed it before. Something inside him said, "Don't go." But the whispering grew louder, sweet and calm. "Don't be afraid. You wanted to see the truth, didn't you?" He took one step down, then another. The stone was slick, cold. The water shimmered faintly, glowing with a green light. And then, he saw them. Figures standing just under the surface. Men, women, children, their skin pale, their eyes empty. They were all looking up at him, waiting. The woman's voice spoke again. "Just one step more." Liam raised his camera and whispered, "Oh God, this is real." The camera slipped from his hands, and fell into the water with a soft splash. When rescuers found it 2 days later, Liam was gone. No footprints, no sign of struggle. Only his camera, still recording. The footage showed him standing by the edge, talking to someone unseen. Then static. Then a final frame. A hand reaching out of the water, touching his ankle. Months later, a team of archaeologists drained part of the cenote for research. They found ancient bones, and something new. A modern skeleton, still holding a camera. When they examined the footage again, there was one more thing no one could explain. In the reflection of the water, they saw Liam, standing behind the camera, smiling. His eyes were pale green. His lips moved silently. Experts enhanced the audio. He was whispering just 2 words, "Your turn." Since then, locals say that, when you visit the cenote at night, you can sometimes hear a man's voice calling softly from the water. "Come closer. Let's make history together."